So today we're going to be talking about the biggest win streak in each UFC weight class and who they should fight next, starting off in the heavyweight division. And this just goes to show the current state of the UFC's heavyweight division. The fighter that has the biggest win streak right now in that division is Waldo Cortez Acosta.
Huh?
Yeah, so Cortez Acosta, he is ranked just outside the top 10 and he is currently on a 4-fight win streak in the UFC. Some notable wins that Cortez Acosta has are Andrei Arlovski, former UFC champion. You've got Rebellas to Spain, for those who remember. I'm pretty sure everyone will remember Rebellas to Spain because he was a pretty hyped up prospect. If you remember correctly, he was the Colombian Taekwondo Olympic. Yeah, he fought in the Olympics for Taekwondo. He was the Cuban guy, now fighting on Karate Combat. Was meant to be fighting for the GFL.
Bruh.
I don't know what's happening with the GFL. Are they a thing? Are they not a thing? But Cortez Acosta kind of fraud checked him in the UFC very early on. And then in his most recent fight, he beat former ranked light heavyweight champion. Ryan Spann was never even close to being a light heavyweight champion, but former ranked light heavyweight in Ryan Spann is who Cortez Acosta beat up in his last matchup. He actually finished Ryan Spann. And who is going to be next for Cortez Acosta? It has already been announced. It is Sergey Spivak. Now, I'm pretty sure Cortez Acosta is taking this fight on short notice. I could be chatting absolute waffle, but I'm pretty sure I've seen that Cortez Acosta is stepping in to fight Sergey Spivak, or it might be Spivak is stepping in to fight Cortez Acosta. Either way, I'm pretty sure this is a late notice matchup. But yeah, this will be a way to see, is Cortez Acosta... That was disgusting. Is Cortez Acosta actually top 10 material in the heavyweight division? Sergey Spivak, I think he's like a decent heavyweight. Sergey Spivak, great fighter. One of the worst impressions you'll ever hear. But yeah, Sergey Spivak, he's been in there with a lot of top heavyweights like your Tom Aspinalls. He's been in there with, who else has he been in there with? Derek Lewis. He's been in there with Tybura. So this will be a good acid test for Cortez Acosta to see, is this guy actually top 10 material in the UFC's heavyweight division. But yeah, you know it's bad when the person who has the longest active win streak right now in the heavyweight division is Cortez Acosta. That is not a good look. Moving on to the light heavyweight division, we have got Carlos Ulberg. His streak should have ended in his last fight because Jan Blachowicz beat this man. I mean that. If you go back and watch the fight, I think Jan Blachowicz won that matchup. But anyway, Carlos Ulberg, he is on an 8-fight win streak right now in the light heavyweight division. Notable wins that he has are over Jan Blachowicz and Volkan Oezdemir. Who else? Alonzo Menifield, he beat him as well. But yeah, those are the big wins that he has in terms of what he has done so far in the light heavyweight division. He is now ranked inside the top 5 after coming off that win over Jan Blachowicz. He is calling for a title shot.
Huh?
No, you need one more win before fighting for the title. And we all know what the next matchup should be. It is Yuri Prochazka. Yuri Prochazka is also 1 fight away, in my opinion, for fighting for the title. Yuri Prochazka is ranked number 2 in the light heavyweight division. He is coming off a win over Jamal Hill. A really good performance, actually, at UFC 311. If I remember correctly, Yuri Prochazka was the underdog going into that matchup. And him versus Jamal Hill was a really fun fight. But yeah, that is what should be next in the light heavyweight division to see who the next number 1 contender is after Alex Pereira and Ankalaev rematch. But maybe they might have a trilogy, who knows. But either way, Ulberg versus Prochazka has to happen next because that will then show who actually is next after Ankalaev and Pereira finish their storyline. Or rivalry would be the better word. Yeah, that's what you should do next. Ulberg, he's on an 8-fight win streak. Get him versus Yuri Prochazka. Book it. I would actually love to see this fight on International Fight Week. I don't know whether we see it though. Moving on to the middleweight division, and this actually surprised me. Dricus du Plessis is on a 9-fight win streak in the UFC. This guy's undefeated in the UFC. DDP is on a legendary run right now. This guy is 1 win off being the middleweight GOAT. I don't care what anybody says. Don't come at me with Anderson Silva and his 1 million title defenses against plumbers. I don't want to hear it. Do not say that to me. it is DDP. If DDP beats Hamzat, he is the best, because I think we're going to have to get to a stage now, because the sport has evolved so much from when these older legends were fighting, that names on resumes might have to mean more now. I think we're getting to that stage. Like, DDP will have beaten Robert Whittaker, Strickland twice, Israel Adesanya, and say he beats Hamzat. Anderson Silva, his resume doesn't have name value like that on it. I don't care what anybody says. It just doesn't. It really, really doesn't. DDP, 9-fight win streak. He has 1 win off being the middleweight GOAT. Who he should fight next, this is obvious again. It's Hamzat Chimaev. Look, we all thought DDP was injured, a shin fracture. We thought DDP wasn't going to be fighting until 2026. That was the reports. But he has came out, and his coach, and have said that no, this is not true. He's not injured. They didn't agree to fight at International Fight Week, which was the thing. We all just kind of assumed that Hamzat versus DDP was going to be on International Fight Week, because we were told we weren't getting John Jones, Tom Aspinall, and we weren't getting Ilya versus Islam, which now looks like we might be getting, which is unbelievable. But yeah, this is the fight to make. I mean, I was going to argue there Nasruddin Mamavov should be fighting DDP next. I do believe he has earned it more than Hamzat, I'm going to be honest. And I know people might say I'm trying to be different and edgy with that take, but I actually don't think I am. I think that's just a normal take to have. Nasruddin Mamavov, he's on a great win streak right now. He's coming off a KO win over Israel Adesanya. He has done more in the middleweight division than what Hamzat Chimaev has done. The only difference is Hamzat Chimaev is a bigger name, bigger star. Him and DDP is the third biggest fight right now, in my opinion, that the UFC can make. So they are definitely going to make DDP Hamzat Chimaev. I think we see this fight August-September time. In the round that is when I believe we get Hamzat Chimaev, Dricus du Plessis. Moving on into the welterweight division, we have got Belal Muhammad. Now, Belal Muhammad, he is currently on a 10-fight win streak in this division. And he actually does have a pretty stacked resume. Obviously, now, in between these 10 fights, the win streak, you do have the no contest against Leon Edwards. But again, it was a no contest, so I am still going to count that he is on a 10-fight win streak in the welterweight division. But Belal Muhammad, I think his resume is kind of going under the radar. This guy's got a lot of really good wins. You've got Leon Edwards, you've got Sean Brady. He handed Sean Brady his first professional MMA loss, and he stopped Sean Brady in that matchup, and we've seen what Sean Brady has went on to do. Like, look at what Sean Brady just done to Leon Edwards. You know what I mean? And Belal Muhammad stopped him. Great win. You've got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson on there, Gilbert Burns, you've got him on there. Who else have we got on that? Vicente Luque's on there. Fuck, who else? I can't remember. Anyway, his resume is absolutely stacked. I mean, just the names that I just said there alone just proves my point. This guy has a stacked resume. We all know who he's fighting next. It was originally meant to be Shavkat, but Shavkat pulled out due to an injury. So it is JDM versus Belal Muhammad at UFC 315. I'm really looking forward to this matchup. I actually think I'm going to pick JDM to win. I know that is going to be... A lot of people won't agree with me on this one. And Belal Muhammad is probably the smarter option if you're like betting or putting money on the line, because Belal Muhammad does pose a serious threat to JDM. We've seen JDM be taken down multiple times before in his MMA career, and Belal Muhammad does have really good control on the ground as well, but JDM has really good scrambles and get-ups, and his takedown defense isn't as bad is what I think a lot of people make it out to be. Now, do I think Belal Muhammad will be able to take down JDM? Yes, I absolutely believe that, but I also think JDM will be able to scramble with Belal Muhammad really well, especially early on. And I think on the feet, I'm going to be honest, I think Belal Muhammad believes in his striking a bit too much. Again, he's a fighter, he's the champion now, of course he's going to have to believe in his striking, but I think that might be a downfall in this matchup where he says he's got Canelo hands. And I think he's going to try and box with one of the best boxers right now in the UFC, JDM. And we have seen Belal Muhammad be knocked out before. He's not chinny by any means, but JDM does carry power. And if JDM smells blood, if he hurts Belal Muhammad, he will get Belal Muhammad out of there. I know it's a bit of a risky pick, but right now, I'm going to go for JDM to beat Belal Muhammad. Don't know why this has kind of turned into a breakdown prediction of the main event of UFC 315, but back on track. Belal Muhammad, He is on the biggest win streak right now in the welterweight division. He is on a 10-fight win streak. Moving on to the lightweight division, we have got Islam Makhachev. Islam Makhachev is currently on a 15-fight win streak in the UFC. He is pound for pound number one in MMA. Finally, Khabib isn't in his ear trying to turn him away from the Ilia Topuria matchup. I think we're going to get it. Fingers crossed. I'm hoping that is the matchup we are going to be getting. But yeah, 15-fight win streak. He's got a really good resume. He's on his way to being top 5 all time in my opinion. He's the greatest UFC lightweight of all time. He's definitely surpassed Khabib Nurmagomedov. He's got wins over Bobby Green, Dan Hooker, Oliveira, Volkanovski twice, Dustin Poirier, Moicano. If you want to count that as a good win, I think it's a pretty decent win, although Moicano took the fight on a day's notice, but so did Islam Makhachev. But yeah, Islam, 15-fight win streak. That is crazy. And who you should fight next, it's obvious. It is Ilia Topuria. Let's stop ducking. Let's stop hiding. Let's get this matchup made. And it does look like International Fight Week is going to be Ilia Topuria versus Islam. That's what the reports are saying. So thankfully, we're going to get this matchup, and Ilia stops Islam inside 3 rounds. Moving on, we've got Movsar Evloev in the featherweight division. This guy's on a 9-fight win streak. I don't think I can take the Movsar Evloev slander anymore, and that pains me because I want to be top of this guy's hate club. I'm going to be honest. I don't want to be rooting for this guy. I don't want to come on here and defend this guy. But for the sake of the UFC, I feel like I have to. I feel like for the fan base, for the true MMA fans, and not the fucking, like, just bizarre people that are like, bro, it's obviously Gene Silva. He has to fight Volkanovski next because Gene Silva, he is part of the Fighting Nerds, and Gene Silva has just knocked out submitted Bryce Mitchell. He subbed Bryce Mitchell, who wasn't even ranked inside the top 10. So I do believe that Gene Silva, with the Fighting Nerds power, he needs to be fighting for the belt. Shut the fuck up. Also, I forgot to add that in. Bro, Gene Silva barks like I show speed. We need to get him to the title. Shut the fuck up. Movsar Evloev is next for the title. Also, if you tell me Yair Rodriguez is next, I'm probably going to hit you with a rock bottom. So let's move past him quickly. It's Movsar Evloev, 9-fight win streak. Got wins over Diego Lopez, just fought for the belt. Aljamain Sterling, former bantamweight champion. Arnold Allen, mainstay in the top 10 of the featherweight division for ages. Dan Ige, mainstay in the top 15 featherweight division for a very long time. Is he boring? Extremely. But he does deserve to fight for the belt next, which is against Volkanovski. And Volkanovski has kind of said Movsar Evloev is next, which is the good thing about Volkanovski, is this guy knows who he is next. He knows who the top guys are in his division. He wants to challenge himself. One of the best champions of all time. Volkanovski, Movsar Evloev, that's the fight to make next. I hope Volk can beat him. I really do. Although there's a part of me that's just like, I know Movsar doesn't carry any power, and Volkanovski's beating the washed chin allegations. Movsar's boxing is actually pretty decent. Now, Volkanovski is clearly the better striker. Do not get me wrong. I'm not trying to say Movsar's going to outstrike him. But whenever you've seen Volkanovski exiting against Diego Lopez, and we've seen him get caught by it, it was the leaning back. Now, I don't think Movsar's going to catch Volkanovski while he's leaning back. But when Volk's leaning back, I think that's the time where Movsar might be able to shoot in and get a takedown. Now, obviously, Volkanovski's got really good takedown defense and get-ups. We've seen him in there with good grapplers, like a Diego Lopez, like a Brian Ortega, and most notably his first performance against Islam Makhachev. But I just think that's something to look out for when they do fight. Moving on to the bantamweight, it is the GOAT of the bantamweight division. We have got Merab. Merab is currently on a 12-fight win streak. His resume is so underrated. It's absolutely mind-boggling. This guy is on track to being a top 10 fighter of all time. I don't care what anybody says. I know he's only got one title defense, but he's beaten the likes of Sean O'Malley, Jose Aldo, Petr Yan, Umar Nurmagomedov. I think that win is going to age like wine. Who else has he beat? Henry Cejudo, Marlon Moraes. Marlon Moraes is a win that's going to go under the radar. That's who Merab stopped. Marlon Moraes was an absolute animal at one point in time. Merab is on his way to being a top 10 fighter of all time. We know what should be next for Merab. It is Pantoja, but we are getting the rematch against Sean O'Malley at UFC 316. I know a lot of people, including myself, aren't really that excited for this fight right now, although I will be watching it, obviously, and I will be interested in seeing how the fight goes down. I think out of everybody in the bantamweight division, and this might be a controversial take, I think Sean O'Malley has the best chance of beating Merab. Now, people might say Umar, his fight with Umar was really close, and I understand that, but I think if you're going to beat Merab, you have to stop him. I don't think you're going to beat him by decision. I think he will just outwork you. I think that's just inevitable. He will outwork you. So I think you will have to stop him. And finishing ability wise, Sean O'Malley has probably got the best finishing instincts. He's the biggest puncher in the division as well. I think if anyone's going to beat him, it is Sean O'Malley. I think Sean O'Malley has the power to put him away, hurt him. We've seen him hurt him in their first fight in round 5 with the body kicks. Hopefully Sean O'Malley believes in his takedown defense a bit more, and maybe he goes to the body early on with the front kicks. Who knows? But yeah, that's next for Merab. A part of me feels like O'Malley's going to beat him. Although I said O'Malley was going to beat him first time around. I said O'Malley was going to knock him out in the first round. And how wrong I was. And finally, the biggest win streak in the flyweight division, it is Pantoja. Current win streak is 7. Who should be next for him? Obviously it should be Merab. We know we're not getting it, but it is going to be Kai France. Look at how awful that image is. Now this will be a rematch. For those who remember, these guys fought on The Ultimate Fighter way back in 2016. Pantoja beat him by decision. Now the Ultimate Fighter fights only 2 rounds, but obviously this was years ago. I mean, nearly 10 years ago. This rematch, I don't think it's going to be different in the result. I think Pantoja will beat him, but I do think Kai France, skill set wise, does offer Pantoja a lot of problems. He's obviously the biggest puncher in the division, in my opinion. He's got great takedown defense. I'm looking forward to seeing this matchup. I think it'll be a fun fight, but obviously I wanted to see the Merab fight more. But yeah, those are the biggest win streaks right now in every single UFC weight class. As always, thanks for the support. Like, share, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And I'll see you all again. Ignore the voice break in the next one.